4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Soft hands. Soft hands, elbows back. Soft hands, elbows back. Yes, this is going to be quite a horny session today because you're 10 times 30 hill reps into 20 minutes tempo. So the only reason we would be doing lots of hills is that you need strength, you don't need speed. So earlier in your program, you get really strong, and then you might strip within some speed. But again, speed would be that you're trying to run 4:15 pace. So really getting stronger earlier is a good idea to be able to tolerate a bit more intensity. The only thing that matters in the whole time is the line. Everything else is smokes and it's just all north. So get there in a good place. Have a couple of really good hard hit outs, which is 2 pre-season games, which is Gold Coast Run Festival and then GC30. Get through those, then your job's done. You know what I mean? Session today, 30 seconds, or basically from the bottom of the concrete there to here. We use the hill for your run form. Okay, so remember your eyes. Okay, just at eye level, by the knee. 30 seconds up, pretty strong. What feels like 8, 9 out of 10. Got a 90-second recovery. Jog on down, think about a few things when you're running. Got 10 times 30 with a 90-second recovery into, after that we're going to go into the 20 minute.
Good.
Right. Leaving in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Two done. Only got 8 to go plus 20 minutes. Only. Gotta want it. Hey, that's pretty quick.
Bro.
That's all right. It's good, huh? It's enough, though.
Good, feeling good. We got it.
All right, you can just walk there, champ. 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Soft hands. Soft hands, elbows back. Soft hands, elbows back. Perfect hill. 10 seconds. So you're going to breathe out a few more times on the way up when you first start doing the climb. Just consciously just breathe out. 5, 4, 3, 2, let's go.
Let's go, baby, come on. No days off.
Soft hands, 4, 3, 2, yep. Drop. This is what you would do if you didn't have a gym. Strength training. Producing food. Is the hill getting longer?
Sorry?
Does the hill feel like it's getting longer?
A little.
I bet it does. More to go. 3, 2, yep.
They can never keep me down, I'm going, and if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up. I bet when I land, they gon' tell me it's luck again. See that I'm winning, it's harder to watch.
Use the left leg as well. 3, 2, let's go. Good, left hip, left knee, left hip, left knee, left hip, left knee. So we're going to run 20 minutes steady state, but we're going to teach them to run at the same heart rate whether running uphill or downhill, which is tricky. 2 more.
1 more?
2.
That's all right.
2. Yep. Up. Good job.
Here we go, last one.
The key is the rest of this though. The key is to get these guys to understand that when you're producing power or force in a rep, that you need to have recovery as well. So this is a gym session without being in the gym. So as long as he takes the rest, which is why we give him 90 seconds of recovery for a 30-second effort. Should be 3, 2, yep. job. Good job. Well done. Would you say that felt like about 9 out of 10 effort?
Yeah.
Okay. So our 20 minutes is going to feel like 7 out of 10 effort, 7 or 8 out of 10. You have to run this 20 minutes at the heart rate, not the pace that you're doing the 20 minutes, i.e. we've got an uphill and a downhill, requires the same heart rate. So don't fluctuate the heart rate up and then recover down. Slow down on the hill, run the same pace down the hill, you'll pick up the speed. So where we're going to run Gold Coast Run Festival and also the Main Beach 30K, it's all trails, it's all different kinds of hills, it's different undulating. So get used to running at the same heart rate no matter where the terrain takes you, okay? So 20 minutes steady is running 150 beats up the hill and running 150 beats down the hill, not going 170 to 110, but just running 20 minutes steady, okay? So tempo 20 minutes at the same effort, okay, not pace, because we're on a different terrain. If we're on a flat terrain, that's different. You can lock in a pace because it's easy. But here, you have to run to an effort, not to a pace. Otherwise, you'll end up getting a really high carbohydrate burn and a real low when you just want to be steady state. Makes sense? So when you run Gold Coast Marathon, it's a steady state effort. That's what it is. Right, pal, let's go. Have fun. RIP. He'll be right. It's good, but it's good to teach them, you know, how to run steady without having to change pace, and actually teaching him some running techniques opposed to just going out and bashing his head against the wall, which he thinks is the best way to train. So this is great ways early on to teach him about learning to run in his body at a pace or at a heart rate threshold, opposed to just trying to, you know, go out there and ram it all day. So at the moment, I feel like I'm educating my son on how to understand the principles of how to do the movement, which is awesome, because if you're coachable, then it's really good. And we'll set him off month by month, getting a little bit more understanding of his own ability, because I think he's probably got far more in him than he even realizes. But that's not for me to tell him yet, because I don't want to blow his trumpet ever until we get to the end of the race in July. 10 minutes to go. Yep. Are you getting more comfortable with just running in the heart rate now? Cool, just slow down on the ups, run them down faster. Good job, mate. Good job. Hello, mate.
How you feeling?
It was tough. It wasn't easy.
Not easy, is it? No. So there's a lot of cognitive thinking in the loop, which is cool. So it means you're actually thinking about your footing and everything else that's going on. So when you get on a flat track, it's flat where there's no other thing, but you can just run hard. It's easy, right?
Yeah.
That's good for your brain to have to think while you're running, because there's lots going on there, right?
Yeah, doing those 10 hills and straight into it.
Yeah.
It was tougher.
Yeah, help you with all your training, right? So
Yeah.
it's good to get you to actually hit in places where you have to think about that. So when you get to the spit, mate, the spit terrain to that, easy.
Yeah.
But the spit terrain at the moment seems hard,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The road terrain to the spit seems easy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This terrain to the road is fucking, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you get to your actual road that you're running on, it's open, there's nothing going on. It's the fucking easiest thing on the planet.
Yeah.
There's nothing there, there's no noise, you don't have to worry about your foot landing, you don't have to worry about nothing. You're just worrying about what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So put yourself in environments where you have to think and lots going on. Then when you get into the easier environment, fucking all day. You know what I mean? Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So, you know, so there you go, that's the session.
No, that was good. It was different, and it was a different environment, and it felt, you know, not near the beach. It was like fucking more in the.
Yeah, it's cool.
You know,
But you know, the silent athlete's always going to win,
Wow.
because the silent athlete in training is doing the work, and then when you show up on race day, you know what I mean? You don't never show all your cards.
Fuck, that's good.
No one needs to know. No, people like to know what you're doing because they're interested.
Yeah.
They don't need to know everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The more noise you make, the the better your excuse better be if it doesn't work out, right? That's how I always look at it, right? So sure, be encouraging and talk about what you're doing all the time and whatever we do, but just remember that, you know, you want to make sure that you are still doing less talking, more doing, you know what I mean?
100%.
Which is cool, but that's the whole journey of it all, right? It's all good.
And that's where the thing, putting out this content, that's what I'm mindful of, is like really making sure I'm not just fucking you gotta be about it as well, not just fucking talk
that's right,
about
that's
it,
right, that's right. But you're showing that you are in it, you know what I mean? Which is good, you know, you're doing the sessions as hard, there's work going, and people respect people that actually give a crack.
Yeah.
So when people are seeing you working hard in different environments, they go, fuck, he, she, maybe they didn't do as well as maybe they wanted to, or maybe they had a blinder, but along the journey we saw that at least they fucking wanted it.
Yeah.
Because they put the work in, right?
It's not like I'm running along fucking Surfers Paradise on the fucking beach run every time or whatever.
Well, you could be if you wanted to be, and then you'd be noisy and it didn't work out, but every Thursday you're not going to be fucking along the fucking beach doing it. And that's still fucking 12 weeks out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you can run between 124 and 130 at that event, right?
Yeah.
Then you are home and hosed.
I ran at 123.55 last year.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
There's no reason why, if you can run a 123 half, 12 weeks out from an event, you cannot not run 3 hours in a marathon when it's cooler, it's a flatter terrain, you're probably more rested, you know what I mean?
Well, that tells me that after that day, things didn't go to plan then.
Yes.
I was on track then, and then I went off
Well,
track.
you're well on track. You got fucking 14 minutes up your sleeve. You know, if you think about that, you're 7 minutes to 130. Like if you were going 129 that day, you know, well, that might have been, you would probably have to get stuck in and do a bit more work.
Yeah.
But if you're well under that, you know, if you double 123, it's 246. You know what I mean?
Yeah, gotcha.
You got 14 minutes to play with there. Even if you dialed that back 5 minutes each side of the half, that would have felt fucking like a walk in the park.
Alrighty guys, we just finished session. Now today's session was hill repeats. We did 10 times through the hill at 30 seconds on up the hill with 90 seconds rest, 10 times through. Straight after that, we went into a 20-minute tempo run. It was quite tough going from the hills because I was running the hills around a 90% effort, straight into that tempo. The first couple sets into that 20-minute tempo were quite tough, very mentally challenging as well. Had to get into it, dig deep a little bit, but then we got through it. The key things that I was working on with the tempo was really making sure my consistent heart rate. So when I was running up the hills in the tempo and going down the hills, instead of going up the hills really, really quick and then down, it was really about being consistent for the whole 20 minutes and holding my heart rate at a consistent period for as long as I can for the 20 minutes. So, you know, at the moment now, we're just really starting to work on the mind, getting the mind right for Gold Coast Marathon, really getting to work with my new coach, building a relationship with him, and really working on the fundamentals on what it's going to take to qualify for Boston come 2nd July at Gold Coast Marathon. So excited to bring you along for the journey. And our intent with this whole thing is hopefully to inspire you so you can find your next level and keep pushing forward. So today's session, we went through a lot of range of movements, and we've identified that there's definitely a lot of things I need to be working on.
Who's this? Who's that? Yeah. 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 Who's this?
I'm very jammed up in my legs, the range of movement. Now, in the past, over the years, I used to be very much into, I guess, going to the gym, lifting bench, training arms, deadlifting, squatting. And then now, as I'm focusing on becoming a better marathon runner, the range of movements and the exercises are now changing. And what I'm learning is that this old way I used to do it isn't going to work anymore. I still want to maintain strength, but now we've got to have a different approach. And it's putting me out of my comfort zone, you know, and the guys are saying to me there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but I'm okay with that, and I want to be vulnerable. We're going to show you guys where I'm at right now, it's not great in terms of the range of movement, but I'm going to work on that and put in the work that's required with the right experts around me, the right coaches, so I can become better and become a better marathon runner and ultimately achieve the goal of running sub 3 at Gold Coast Marathon come July 2nd, and then qualify for the Boston Marathon, which is a goal I've been thinking about. I've been writing it down for fucking 3-4 years now. I can't tell you how many times I've written down run sub 3 and qualify for Boston. And that's why I'm bringing along for the journey. I want to show you guys what it takes. Not all the pretty stuff, the highs, the lows. And hopefully, as you always know, it's the intent to always inspire you so you can get out and be your best in whatever that you want to do.
How's the session?
Not bad, man. It's good. We're doing run specific. Really focus on building the strength in the legs, ready for the marathon and the load that's going to be coming. So it's good. Yeah, bro. Alright guys, so we just finished our first strength and conditioning session at Momentum Fitness on the Gold Coast, and it was eye-opening. Last year I didn't do any strength and conditioning pretty much at all. I really just focused on running and becoming a better runner. But this year, and from the run coaches that I've been working with, what I've learned is how important strength and conditioning is to become a better runner. Really, so then you're preventing injury, you're building strength in your legs, and so when you put on the volume and your weekly mileage is increasing, your legs are strong enough to be able to withstand and be able to perform when you need to be a good marathon runner. All right guys, be well, and thanks for sharing the journey. Guys, happy Sunday. Welcome to the final day of week number 2. We're going to be doing the long run today. Now after last week's long run, I probably went a little bit too hard and the heart rate got a little bit probably too high and took it a little bit too fast. So today what I'm going to be working on, and that's why I'm wearing the heart rate monitor strap, because I really want to be watching my heart rate to make sure it doesn't get elevated too high. Make sure we're keeping it nice and consistent, really just making sure that I'm ready, recharged, ready for next Tuesday's session. So we're going to be focusing on that. We're going to go for around 2 hours today, between 90 minutes to 2 hours, should be around 25 Ks. All right, bro. What is good, guys? Welcome to the recap for week number 2. So I wanted to break down a couple of the sessions from this week that's just been, and give a bit of an analysis and a bit of feedback on what I'm learning, how it's been going, and break it down for you. So the first session that we had was 12 times 1 minute on, 1 minute off. So this was a Gold Coast Run Co. with a lot of my good friends there. And within this session, there's actually like a group number 1, if you will. These guys are around 2 hour 50 marathoners and a lot of my good mates. And in that session, I went out with those guys. I wanted to push myself a little bit. So with the 12 times 1 minute on, these guys were sitting on around 3 minute 45 per kilometer. And then for the float, which is the 1 minute off, these guys were going to about a 4 minute 10 float. So with the other groups, what they were doing, they were kind of backing off quite significantly. With this group 1, you're only really backing off by about 20 seconds. So you're really kind of pushing quite hard on the ons on that 1 minute, and then that 1 minute off, instead of like taking your foot completely off the gas and like just kind of slow jogging, you're just taking off slightly, about 20 seconds. So your system, you're not really getting a full time to recover, and the lactic acid starts to build. So I was pretty good for that set. I started to fall off the back of these guys for around the last 2, but I was kind of happy to hang on for as long as I could, because I really want to push myself to really build that anaerobic base. Then Wednesday was a very, very easy 45 minutes with some rolling hills to really just get used my body putting some hills in there, and nothing major there to report. Then Thursday came around and we went to Coach Adam Gordon's session. This time we went to the hills. We went into the hill session. So that was 10 reps through those. And what was quite tough with that session was the 20 minutes tempo after doing the hills, because I was feeling a bit gassed. It was really hot. It was around lunchtime. It was a really hot day. And then going straight into that tempo run through that terrain as well, which is really making sure that I'm putting myself into difficult terrain, uncomfortable situations. So when it comes to race day and it comes to racing on the bitumen, it's going to feel much easier mentally and also, I guess, physically as well. From there, we had our first strength session on the Friday with the new coach, and there was a lot of room for improvement there with my mobility and how I want to get my body moving. To be fair, I haven't always been the most flexible guy, even from my previous career in the army. And, so that's something I'm definitely going to be working on, to really focus on my form for strength, so I can start introducing some more weightlifting. But more importantly, the strength sessions they're to make my ligaments, to make my joints, to make everything in my body stronger, to support the weekly volume as it increases as we start getting further into the program. From there, we went out on Saturday and I had an easy 1 hour run for about 12 kilometers. So an easy 12 Ks, got out there, very cruisy, very good down by the beach. It was very good. And then Sunday, we took this Sunday long run a lot easier. I wore the heart rate strap and really focused on managing my heart rate. And I believe it was around 131 beats per minute for the whole 25 kilometers, on average. So much, much lower compared to the previous Sunday in week 1. And I felt a lot better. So I felt a lot better after that long run. And then I went and did the recovery pulls after, and actually had a really good sleep on my Whoop band that I tracked. And I've kind of cut out coffee as well at the moment. So all in all, week number 2, it was a good solid week, not massive volume, really focusing on making sure I'm feeling good, having good night's sleep, compared to last year where it was very much grind, work. I'm still working very hard and running businesses, but instead of like pumping myself full of coffee like I used to in the past, this year I'm really reducing coffee and really making sure I'm getting a good night's sleep, and using, because there was actually a quote that I read from that book, I believe it's called Why We Sleep, and the author, we have to put who the author is, I forgot his name, but he talked about that sleep is one of the most underused performance enhancing drugs there is. He used the analogy, if somebody wants to use caffeine to enhance their performance either in the gym or in running, or a really good night's sleep, he's going to take sleep every day of the week in order to get a better performance out of that athlete. So I'm viewing sleep a lot differently compared to how it was last year. And I know you're probably sick. I've probably been harping on about this sleep thing for a while now, but it's just something that I've really kind of been more bullish on, as opposed to this previous kind of mindset I had, which was, You sleep when you're dead, all about the hustle. You've heard it all before. So key takeaways from this is really listening to my coaches, putting my trust in them, having faith in the program, and really letting the work do the talking. With being a distant athlete, obviously I'm not doing this professionally, but someone that's training for his next marathon, it's always get caught up in Strava and what everyone else is doing, but it's really kind of embracing that solitude as well. The communities are great, everything's great, but also embracing that athlete to find your mind, to find what you're made of, to do that soul searching, which sometimes you can only do in some tough sessions by yourself. And really embrace that and embrace the work that's required and lean into it, and make sure that we're arriving at these sessions with a sharp mind, a fresh mind, ready to perform, ready to go to that next level. So guys, please, if you've got any questions about the workout, what I'm doing more, whatever, if you'd like to know more, drop some comments below, because I'd be happy to do further videos explaining more about it and going into more detail. So I'd love to hear from you. Please drop a comment below, reach out. This whole channel, what I want to do is build community, so I'd love to hear from you, and let me know how everything's going with you. All right guys, peace.